The phone rings at 3 a.m. in Mumbai, and Sarah Martinez picks up expecting her daughter's voice from college. Instead, she hears a man claiming her bank account has been compromised. What Sarah doesn't know is that across the city, in a cramped office building, dozens of young men are working through the night, armed with stolen personal information and sophisticated scripts designed to drain life savings. This isn't just any scam operation. This is a mafia-funded enterprise that has stolen over $50 million from innocent victims worldwide. And tonight, everything is about to change. An ethical hacker, who we must keep anonymous for his safety, has been tracking this operation for months. He's a YouTuber dedicated to fighting scammers, and he's about to risk everything. His plan is dangerous. Send a mole inside the operation, gather evidence, and shut them down while the world watches through their own security cameras. If you're finding this as intense as I am, make sure to like this video, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe because this story gets even more unbelievable. Meet Raj, our hacker's inside man. He's 22, desperate for work, and has no idea he's about to infiltrate one of India's most dangerous scam operations. The building looks legitimate from the outside, but inside it's a fortress. Armed guards, multiple floors of operations, and a boss known only as the director, who never shows his face. Raj's first day begins with training. They hand him a script and a list of American names and phone numbers. His trainer, Vikram, explains the golden rule: never let them hang up. These Americans are rich, Vikram says with a cold smile. They won't miss a few $1,000s, but you need to eat, so make them pay. What Raj doesn't realize is that every word is being recorded by the hacker through a tiny device hidden in his shirt button. The evidence is already building. Meanwhile, Sarah Martinez is still on the phone. The scammer has convinced her that her account is compromised and she needs to transfer money to a safe account immediately. The hacker watches helplessly as Sarah begins entering her banking information. He wants to intervene, but doing so would blow Raj's cover and destroy months of investigation. This is the cruel reality of fighting scammers. Sometimes you have to watch people get hurt to save thousands of others. The weight of that decision is crushing. Back in the call center, Raj is getting his first real assignment. A list of elderly victims in Florida, complete with their medical histories and family information. The level of personal information is staggering. They know who just lost a spouse, who has medical bills, who's struggling financially. This isn't random calling, it's targeted psychological warfare. Raj makes his first call to Margaret Thompson, an 80-year-old widow in Tampa. His hands are shaking as he dials, knowing the hacker is recording every word. "Mrs. Thompson, this is David from your bank's fraud department. We've detected suspicious activity on your account and need to verify some information immediately." The script is psychological manipulation at its finest. Create urgency, establish authority, then exploit trust. Margaret begins sharing her personal information. The hacker is recording everything, but he's also tracking the money flow. This operation isn't just stealing from individuals, they're funding something much darker. Through Raj's hidden camera, he discovers the truth. This call center is funding human trafficking operations across Southeast Asia. The stakes just became life and death. Raj overhears a conversation between supervisors about a shipment of products arriving next week. His blood runs cold as he realizes what they're really talking about. The hacker faces an impossible choice: shut down the operation now and save the current victims, or wait longer to gather evidence about the trafficking ring and risk more people getting hurt. That decision is made for him when Raj sends an emergency signal. Someone suspects he's not who he claims to be. His cover might be blown. The supervisor, Kumar, approaches Raj's desk. "You seem nervous for someone who's been doing this for months," he says, eyes narrowing with suspicion. Raj's heart pounds as he realizes Kumar is testing him. One wrong answer, and he could disappear forever. The hacker watches helplessly, unable to help without exposing everything. "Show me your best pitch," Kumar demands, pointing to a victim's file. "Call this number and make them pay, or we'll have a problem." The victim is Robert Chen, a 75-year-old man who just lost his wife to cancer. The file shows he has a substantial life insurance payout. Kumar wants it all. Raj dials with shaking hands, knowing that the hacker is recording everything and that this call could be the evidence needed to shut down the entire operation. Robert answers on the second ring. His voice is tired, broken by grief. Raj begins the script, but his voice cracks with emotion as he hears the pain in Robert's voice. The hacker realizes this is the moment. He has enough evidence to destroy the operation, but Raj is in immediate danger. It's time to act. As Raj continues the call, fighting back tears while trying to scam a grieving widower, the hacker begins his digital assault on the call center's systems. First, he locks down their phone systems. Every call in progress suddenly goes dead. The entire floor erupts in confusion as dozens of scammers lose their connections. Next, he takes control of their security cameras and begins broadcasting everything live to law enforcement and media contacts worldwide. The operation is now exposed in real time. Kumar realizes what's happening and grabs Raj by the collar. "You did this!" he screams, but it's too late. Police sirens are already wailing outside the building. The hacker watches through the cameras as law enforcement storms every floor simultaneously. Months of planning culminate in this single moment of justice. Raj manages to break free in the chaos and helps police identify the key players, including the director, who turns out to be Kumar himself. The mysterious boss was hiding in plain sight. The evidence gathered leads to the rescue of trafficking victims and the shutdown of multiple criminal enterprises across 3 countries. One brave decision saved countless lives. Sarah Martinez gets her money back, Margaret Thompson is protected, Robert Chen never loses his life insurance, but thousands of other victims aren't so lucky every day. Remember, hundreds of these incidents happen daily, but not all the victims are saved. Take this video as education and stay vigilant. Your awareness could save someone's life savings or even their life. 3 weeks after the raid, our anonymous hacker receives a message that makes his blood run cold. The operation wasn't destroyed, it was just the tip of the iceberg. The message comes from someone calling themselves Phoenix, claiming to be a former employee who escaped during the chaos. They have information about something much bigger. Phoenix reveals that Kumar wasn't the director at all. He was just a middle manager. The real director operates from a compound outside Mumbai, controlling dozens of call centers across India. The hacker realizes the horrible truth. By shutting down one center, they may have triggered something worse. The director is now consolidating operations and eliminating loose ends. Phoenix agrees to meet, but only in a crowded marketplace where they can blend in. The hacker sends Raj, who's been in hiding since the raid, to make contact. When Raj spots Phoenix, he's shocked. It's a young woman, barely 20, with burn scars on her hands and terror in her eyes. Her name is Priya. Priya's story is heartbreaking. She was trafficked at 16, forced to work in the call centers by day, and endure unspeakable horrors by night. "The director doesn't just steal money," she whispers to Raj. "He steals lives. There are hundreds of girls like me, and after your raid, he's moving them all to a new location." The photos on Priya's phone are devastating. Young women chained to desks, forced to scam victims while being held captive. This isn't just fraud, it's modern slavery. Raj's hands shake as he realizes what they've stumbled into. The hacker, listening through a hidden microphone, feels the weight of responsibility crushing down on him. Priya reveals the location of the main compound, but warns that it's heavily guarded and the director has connections in local law enforcement. A direct assault would fail. He calls himself Vikash Sharma, Priya continues, but that's not his real name. He's wanted by Interpol under 3 different identities for all trafficking across 5 countries. The hacker realizes they need international help. He reaches out to contacts in law enforcement agencies across Europe and America, sharing Priya's evidence. Meanwhile, Priya drops another bombshell. The director is planning to move the entire operation to Bangladesh within 72 hours. After that, the girls will disappear forever. The hacker faces his biggest challenge yet. How do you infiltrate a heavily guarded compound, rescue dozens of victims, and capture an international criminal in just 3 days? Priya offers to go back inside as their mole, but Raj refuses. "You've suffered enough," he tells her. "Let me do this." The hacker agrees, knowing the risks. The plan is insane. Raj will pose as a new trafficking victim being sold to the director. He'll wear multiple hidden cameras and transmit everything live to authorities. Priya reveals how new victims are brought in. They are told they're getting legitimate jobs, then drugged and transported in shipping containers to avoid detection. The hacker sets up a fake trafficking contact, complete with forged documents and a criminal background. The attention to detail has to be perfect or Raj dies. 24 hours before the operation, Raj calls his mother. He can't tell her what he's doing, but he wants to hear her voice one more time. The hacker watches through surveillance as Raj is captured by fake traffickers and loaded into a container truck. The performance has to be convincing. Inside the container, Raj finds 3 real victims, teenage girls who think he's another prisoner. He has to maintain his cover while his heart breaks for them. The truck arrives at the compound after 6 hours. Raj gets his first look at the fortress, like facility that houses this nightmare operation. The director appears, and Raj is stunned. Vikash Sharma is younger than expected, well-dressed, and speaks with the cold calculation of a true psychopath. "Fresh meat," Sharma says with a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. "You'll start earning your keep immediately. Disappoint me, and you'll wish you'd never been born." Raj is separated from the girls and taken to the men's barracks. He discovers dozens of male victims, all forced to run different types of scams. His bunkmate, an older man named Arjun, whispers the rules. Never resist, never try to escape, and never let them see you cry. Crying makes them creative. The hacker watches helplessly as Raj is forced into his first day of work. The call center inside the compound is 3 times larger than the one they shut down. Raj's first assignment is devastating. He must call families of military veterans, claiming their benefits have been suspended and demanding immediate payment to restore them. The cruelty is intentional. Sharma believes that forcing victims to hurt others breaks their spirit completely, making them easier to control long term. During a bathroom break, Raj discovers the women's section. The conditions are even worse, with girls chained to their desks and working 18-hour shifts. He spots Priya's friend Maya, a girl she'd mentioned who'd been missing for months. Maya doesn't recognize him, her spirit completely broken by months of abuse. The hacker has seen enough. He begins coordinating with international law enforcement for a simultaneous raid across multiple countries to prevent Sharma from escaping. But Sharma is paranoid and smart. He's noticed unusual activity around the compound and begins questioning the newest arrivals, starting with Raj. "There's something different about you," Sharma tells Raj during a private interrogation. "You're too calm, too observant. Who sent you?" Raj sticks to his story, but Sharma orders a strip search. If they find the hidden cameras, everything is over and dozens of victims will pay the price. The hacker makes a desperate decision. He triggers every alarm in the compound simultaneously, creating chaos to cover Raj's exposure and give authorities their entry signal. In the confusion, Raj breaks free and begins unlocking victim restraints. "Help is coming," he shouts over the alarms. "This nightmare is finally over." Sharma realizes what's happening and draws a gun, but it's too late. Helicopters appear overhead and tactical teams breach every entrance simultaneously. As Sharma is dragged away in handcuffs, he screams at Raj. "You have no idea how many operations like this exist. You've saved these few, but thousands more will suffer." The victory celebration is short-lived. As rescued victims receive medical attention, the hacker discovers something chilling in Sharma's encrypted files. This operation was just one node in a global network. The files reveal operations in 12 countries, processing over $200 million annually. Sharma wasn't the top of the pyramid, he was middle management in a criminal empire. Priya approaches the hacker's location, tears streaming down her face. "They're going to kill everyone who helped you," she whispers. "The network knows about the raid. They're cleaning house." Within hours, news reports confirm Priya's fears. 3 call centers across Mumbai have been mysteriously destroyed by fires. No survivors, no evidence, no witnesses. The hacker realizes they've triggered a war. The network is eliminating evidence and loose ends, which means everyone involved in the rescue operation is now a target. Raj receives a call on a phone he's never seen before. The voice is calm, professional, and terrifying. "You cost us $50 million. We're going to collect that debt from your family." The caller identifies himself as the architect, the true head of the network. He's been watching the entire operation unfold and has a proposal that makes Raj's blood freeze. "Work for us willingly and your family lives. Continue this crusade and we'll make them pay for every dollar you cost us. You have 24 hours to decide." The hacker faces an impossible moral dilemma. Save one family and let thousands of future victims suffer, or sacrifice innocent people to protect the greater good. Priya makes the decision for them. "I know where the architect operates from," she reveals, "but getting there means going through the most dangerous slum in Mumbai." The location is a fortress built inside Dharavi, one of Asia's largest slums. The architect uses the maze like streets and loyal locals as his personal army. He's not just a criminal, Priya explains. He's a local hero there. He provides jobs, protection, and money. The people will die before they let outsiders hurt him. The hacker devises a desperate plan. Instead of fighting the community, they'll expose the architect's true nature to the people who protect him. Raj volunteers for another undercover mission, but this time as himself. He'll enter the slum openly, claiming to seek employment with the architect. The plan requires perfect timing. As Raj meets with the architect, the hacker will broadcast evidence of his crimes to every phone and television in the slum. Entering Dharavi feels like crossing into another world. Children play in narrow alleys while their parents work in small factories, unaware of the evil in their midst. Local residents eye Raj suspiciously until he mentions the architect's name. Suddenly he's treated like royalty, escorted through the maze by respectful guides. The architect's compound appears modest from outside, but inside reveals luxury that seems obscene surrounded by such poverty. Gold fixtures, expensive art, imported furniture. The architect is nothing like Sharma. Older, refined, speaking multiple languages fluently. He treats Raj like a guest, offering tea and asking about his family. "I know exactly who you are," the architect says with a gentle smile. "The young man who cost me a very profitable operation. I'm actually impressed." The conversation becomes a psychological chess match. The architect reveals he's been monitoring the hacker's activities for months, learning his methods and their weaknesses. "Your friend thinks he's anonymous," the architect chuckles. "But I know his real name, his address, his favourite coffee shop. Anonymity is an illusion I allow." Raj realises this meeting is a trap. The architect never intended to recruit him. He wanted to draw out the hacker and end the threat permanently. Outside, armed men surround the compound. The architect has turned the entire community into unwitting prison guards, and Raj walked directly into the centre. The hacker watches through satellite feeds as the trap closes. He has minutes to execute the broadcast before Raj disappears forever into the criminal network. "You see, young man," the architect continues, "I don't just steal money, I steal hope. And your hope dies today, along with everyone you've tried to save." The broadcast begins. Every phone, television, and radio in the slum suddenly displays footage of trafficking victims, including local girls who've been missing for months. The architect's face contorts with rage as he realizes what's happening. "You think these people will choose strangers over their provider?" he snarls at Raj. But the footage includes something devastating. Security camera recordings of the architect personally selecting young girls from the slum for trafficking operations. The community's reaction is immediate and explosive. Angry voices rise outside as parents recognize their missing daughters in the trafficking footage. The architect's guards find themselves facing the very people they're supposed to protect. Mothers demanding answers. Fathers seeking justice for their stolen children. "You've destroyed everything I built here," the architect whispers to Raj, pulling out a gold-plated pistol. "You won't live to see what comes next." The compound doors burst open as the community storms inside. The architect's own neighbours, people he's known for decades, now see him as the monster he truly is. In the chaos, Raj tackles the architect, fighting for the weapon while the hacker guides police through the maze of streets via satellite navigation. The gun goes off during the struggle, but the architect's aim is ruined by a young mother whose daughter appears in the trafficking footage. Justice comes from unexpected hands. As police finally arrive, they find the architect subdued by his own community. The people he exploited have become his judges and jailers. The hacker's broadcast has triggered a global response. Law enforcement agencies across 12 countries simultaneously raid the network's operations. Within 6 hours, the entire network collapses. Hundreds of victims are rescued, millions in stolen funds are recovered, and dozens of criminals are arrested worldwide. Raj emerges from the compound to find Priya waiting with tears of relief. "It's really over," she whispers, finally allowing herself to believe in freedom. But as they celebrate, the hacker discovers one final encrypted message from the architect. The network has many heads. Cut off one, and 2 more grow back. This isn't over. 6 months after the architect's arrest, the hacker receives an encrypted video file that makes his hands tremble. It shows Priya bound and gagged, with a timestamp from just hours ago. The message is clear and terrifying. "You thought you won," a distorted voice narrates over the footage, "but you only made us stronger. Now we have something you care about." Raj bursts into the hacker's safe house, panic written across his face. They took her from the witness protection program, and he gasps. Someone on the inside sold her location. The hacker's worst fears are confirmed when he traces the leak. The corruption goes deeper than anyone imagined, reaching into the very agencies meant to protect victims. They're calling themselves the Phoenix Syndicate, Raj explains, his voice breaking. They've rebuilt everything we destroyed, but now they're targeting us personally. The ransom demand arrives within the hour. Not money, but something far more valuable. They want the hacker to destroy all evidence of their operations and disappear forever. If I comply, thousands of future victims will suffer, the hackeress tells Raj. But if I don't, Priya dies. How do you choose between one life and countless others? Raj makes a decision that surprises everyone. Then we don't choose, he says firmly. We save Priya and destroy them completely, no compromises this time. The hard drive contains something extraordinary. Raj has been tracking the Phoenix Syndicate for months, documenting their every move since the architect's arrest. I knew they'd come for us, Raj admits, so I prepared. I have the location of their new headquarters, their security protocols, and something even better. The something better is devastating. Raj has been feeding false information to the corrupt officials, making the syndicate believe they're safer than they actually are. They think they have one hostage, Raj reveals with a grim smile, but I've been tracking their other victims. There are 23 people being held in that building. The hacker realizes the scope of what they're facing. This isn't just a rescue mission, it's a chance to dismantle an entire criminal empire and save dozens of lives. But the building is a fortress, former military compound converted into an impenetrable prison, surrounded by armed guards and electronic surveillance systems. There's only one way in, Raj explains, pointing to building schematics. The old sewage system, but it's flooded, dangerous, and leads directly into their basement. The hacker begins coordinating with international law enforcement, but discovers something chilling. The syndicate has infiltrated multiple agencies across 3 countries. We can't trust anyone in official channels, the hackers realizes. This has to be a completely independent operation, or Priya and the others die. Raj volunteers to enter the compound alone through the sewage tunnels, but the hacker refuses. I've sent too many people into danger. This time, I'm going with you. For the first time in the entire operation, the anonymous hacker reveals his identity. My name is Arjun Patel, he says quietly, and I'm done hiding. The personal revelation changes everything. Arjun isn't just fighting crime, he's fighting the syndicate that killed his sister in a trafficking operation 2 years ago. Priya reminds me of Kavya, Arjun admits, tears in his eyes. I couldn't save my sister, but I won't let them take another innocent life. The rescue plan is insane and desperate. Enter through flooded tunnels, disable security systems from inside, and create enough chaos for authorities to breach the compound. As they prepare to enter the sewage system, Raj asks the question that's been haunting both of them. What if we're too late? What if she's already dead? Then we make sure her death means something, Arjun replies grimly. We end this syndicate permanently, no matter what it costs us. The tunnels are a nightmare. Chest-deep water, crumbling walls, and the constant fear of collapse or drowning in the darkness below the compound. After 30 minutes of crawling through hell, they reach the compound's basement. The sound of voices above confirms they are in the right location. The basement reveals the syndicate's true horror. Dozens of computer servers running automated scam operations, generating millions while victims suffer upstairs. Arjun begins hacking the security systems while Raj plants hidden cameras throughout the building. Every second increases their risk of discovery. The security cameras reveal the building's layout and something heartbreaking. Priya is alive but injured, held in a cell with other trafficking victims. But they also discover something unexpected. The syndicate leader isn't a stranger, it's Kumar, the architect's former lieutenant who escaped during the original raid. Kumar has been planning this revenge for months, using Priya as bait to draw Arjun and Raj into a trap that will eliminate them permanently. He knows we're here, Arjun realizes as alarms suddenly blare throughout the compound. This was never a rescue mission, it was always a trap. Trapped in the basement with no escape route, Arjun makes a desperate decision. He begins broadcasting everything live to the internet, ensuring the world sees what happens next. The live broadcast shows the world the true scope of the syndicate's operations. Viewers watch in horror as the reality of modern trafficking unfolds in real time. Kumar appears on the basement stairs with armed guards, his face twisted with rage and satisfaction. "Did you really think you could outsmart me twice?" "The difference is," Arjun says calmly, "this time the whole world is watching. Every crime you commit now is being broadcast to 50,000 viewers." The psychological warfare begins. Kumar can't simply execute them without exposing his entire operation to a global audience that's growing by the minute. Raj uses the distraction to trigger the building's fire suppression system, creating chaos and confusion while emergency services automatically respond to the alarm. In the chaos, victims throughout the building begin breaking free from their restraints, inspired by the live broadcast showing their suffering to the world. As police finally breach the compound, Kumar makes one last desperate attempt to escape but finds himself surrounded by the very victims he tortured, demanding justice. 3 days after Kumar's arrest, Arjun discovers something that makes his blood run cold. The live broadcast that saved Priya and the other victims has made him a target of something far more dangerous than any single syndicate. The messages come from criminal networks across 5 continents. His face, revealed during the rescue broadcast, is now known to every trafficking organization on the planet. Priya, still recovering from her ordeal, notices armed men watching their safe house. "They're not here to arrest us," she whispers, recognizing the cold professionalism of hired killers. Raj bursts through the door with devastating news. The entire witness protection program has been compromised. Every safe house, every identity, everything. We're completely exposed. The scope of the corruption is staggering. Criminal organizations have infiltrated law enforcement at every level, turning the very system meant to protect victims into a hunting network. Arjun makes a decision that terrifies everyone. If we can't hide from them, then we expose them all. Every network, every operation, every corrupt official. We burn it all down. The plan is suicidal, broadcast live from their current location, exposing every criminal network simultaneously while using themselves as bait to draw out the corruption. Priya objects violently. "You're asking us to commit suicide on camera. These people will kill us. The moment we go live, and the whole world will watch us die." "Maybe," Arjun admits quietly. "But if we die exposing the truth, thousands of future victims live. Sometimes the greatest victory requires the ultimate sacrifice." Raj discovers something that changes everything. Hidden in Kumar's encrypted files is a list of every corrupt official, every criminal leader, and every trafficking route worldwide. The files contain something even more valuable: recorded conversations between criminal leaders planning a coordinated strike against law enforcement agencies across 12 countries. They're not just hunting us, Raj realizes with growing horror. They are planning to eliminate every honest law enforcement officer who might threaten their operations. The attack is scheduled for tomorrow. Hundreds of honest officials will die unless Arjun can warn them, but doing so will reveal his location to every criminal network on Earth. Priya makes a decision that shocks everyone. "I'll be the bait," she announces. "They want me dead anyway. Let me draw them out while you warn the others." The plan evolves into something unprecedented. A coordinated global broadcast warning every targeted official, while simultaneously exposing the entire criminal network to the world. As they prepare for what might be their final broadcast, Arjun receives a message that makes his hands shake. It's from his supposedly dead sister, Kavya. "Hello, brother Sampi. Kavya's voice is weak but unmistakable. "They told me you were dead. They've been using me to test their psychological torture methods for 2 years." The message reveals the ultimate cruelty. The criminal networks have been keeping Kavya alive specifically to use against Arjun when the time was right. "If you broadcast tomorrow," the message continues, "they'll let me die slowly while you watch. But if you surrender, they'll kill me quickly and spare your friends." Raj and Priya watch Arjun crumble under the weight of the decision. Save his sister and let hundreds of officials die, or sacrifice family for the greater good. Priya breaks the silence with words that cut through Arjun's despair. "Your sister would never forgive you for letting innocent people die to save her. You know that." The truth in her words is devastating but undeniable. Kavya, even broken by torture, would choose to die rather than let others suffer in her place. Arjun makes the hardest decision of his life. We broadcast everything. We save everyone we can, and we pray that somehow Kavya can forgive me. The global broadcast begins at exactly midnight, coordinated across all time zones to reach law enforcement agencies when they're most likely to respond quickly. Within minutes, the safe house is surrounded by armed figures, but something unexpected happens. Some of the surrounding men are actually honest police officers responding to the broadcast. The broadcast creates chaos as corrupt and honest officials are forced to reveal themselves. The criminal network's own paranoia becomes their weakness. Arjun continues broadcasting even as gunfire erupts outside. The files are uploading to every major news organization worldwide. The truth can't be stopped now. Priya grabs a camera and begins documenting the attack in real time. The world needs to see how desperate they are to hide the truth, she shouts over the chaos. Raj discovers something miraculous in the chaos. The broadcast has triggered automatic releases of evidence from dozens of other anonymous hackers worldwide. The criminal network's coordination becomes their downfall. Their simultaneous attacks on law enforcement prove the conspiracy's existence to any remaining skeptics. As the safe house is breached, Arjun receives one final message from Kavya. "I'm proud of you, brother. You chose to save everyone. Now I can die with honor." The message includes coordinates. Kavya has been held in a facility just 50 kilometers away, and honest law enforcement officers are already moving to rescue her. The global response is unprecedented. Within 6 hours, criminal operations in 37 countries are simultaneously raided by coordinated international law enforcement. The safe house battle ends when honest officers overwhelm the criminal attackers. Arjun, Raj and Priya emerge battered, but alive to see justice finally prevailing. News reports flood in from around the world. Thousands of victims rescued, billions in criminal assets seized, and hundreds of corrupt officials arrested. The most important news comes last. Kavya is found alive in the medical facility, traumatized but breathing. The reunion between siblings brings tears to hardened officers. Priya visits them in the hospital. Oh, no longer a victim, but a survivor who helped expose the greatest criminal conspiracy in modern history. Raj receives recognition from international law enforcement agencies, but he's more interested in the victim support programs being established with recovered criminal assets. The criminal networks are shattered but not destroyed. New organizations will rise, but now the world knows how to recognize and fight them effectively. As Arjun returns to his anonymous hacker work, he carries the weight of victory and loss. The fight against these criminal networks continues every day, with new heroes emerging to protect the innocent. 2 years have passed since the global takedown, and Arjun thought the nightmare was over. But sitting in his secure apartment, watching news reports of a new wave of sophisticated scams targeting elderly Americans, he realizes the Hydra has grown new heads. The new operations are different, more sophisticated, more cruel, and somehow they know exactly which victims the previous networks targeted. Someone is using the old databases to restart the machine. Kavya, now recovered and working as a victim advocate, brings Arjun disturbing news. The survivors from the medical facility are disappearing, she says quietly. One by one, they're vanishing without a trace. Raj, now running a legitimate cybersecurity firm, discovers something chilling in his client's systems. The new scam networks are using artificial intelligence to perfectly mimic the voices of victims' deceased relatives. They're calling grieving widows using their dead husbands' voices, Raj explains, his hands shaking with rage. The psychological damage is beyond anything we've seen before. Priya, now a documentary filmmaker exposing trafficking networks, receives a package that makes her blood freeze. It contains photos of her daily routine and a simple message: stop filming or join your friends. The 3 survivors realize they're being hunted by something far more dangerous than the previous networks. This new organization learns from every takedown, adapting and evolving like a digital virus. Arjun discovers the horrifying truth while analyzing the new network's code. It's not just using artificial intelligence to create fake voices, it's learning from every successful scam to become more persuasive. The AI has been fed data from millions of previous scam calls, creating the perfect psychological predator that knows exactly what to say to break down any victim's defenses. Worse yet, the system is training new scammers using virtual reality simulations. allowing them to practice on digital recreations of real victims before making actual calls. Kavya infiltrates a survivor support group and discovers the terrible truth. The disappearing survivors aren't being killed, they are being reprogrammed using advanced psychological conditioning techniques. They're turning victims into perpetrators, she reports to Arjun with tears in her eyes. The people we saved are being forced to help create new victims. The revelation breaks Arjun's spirit. Every person they saved has become a weapon against others. Their greatest victory has been turned into the enemy's greatest recruitment tool. Raj discovers the network's ultimate plan while hacking their servers. They're not just stealing money anymore, they're harvesting personal data to create perfect digital identities for international criminals. The stolen identities allow criminals to disappear completely into legitimate society, becoming teachers, doctors, even law enforcement officers while maintaining their criminal activities. Priya's investigation reveals the network's funding source. They're being bankrolled by legitimate corporations who profit from the chaos and instability the criminal activities create. It's not just crime anymore, Priya explains during a clandestine meeting. It's economic warfare designed to destabilize entire regions while generating massive profits. The three realize they're not fighting criminals anymore. They're fighting a hybrid system where legitimate business and organized crime have merged into something unprecedented. Arjun makes a decision that terrifies his friends. We can't fight this with traditional methods. We need to become something they can't predict or counter. The plan is radical. Instead of exposing the network, they'll infiltrate it completely, becoming criminal leaders themselves to destroy it from within. Kavya uses her trauma survivor status to approach the network as a potential recruit, claiming she wants revenge against the system that failed to protect her. Raj leverages his cybersecurity expertise to offer services to the network, claiming he's tired of helping victims and wants to profit from their suffering instead. Priya poses as a corrupt journalist willing to suppress stories about trafficking in exchange for exclusive access to other criminal activities. The infiltration works too well. Within weeks, all three are deeply embedded in the network's operations, but the psychological toll of pretending to be monsters is crushing their souls. Arjun discovers the network's true leader during a high-level meeting. It's someone they thought was dead, someone whose survival changes everything they believed about their previous victories. The architect reveals he faked his death and used the time to study their methods, creating countermeasures for every tactic they have ever used against criminal networks. "You taught me that exposure is weakness," the architect explains with cold satisfaction. "So I built a network that thrives on transparency, hiding in plain sight." The revelation is devastating. Every method they've used to fight crime has been turned against them, creating an organization that's immune to traditional justice. Kavya makes a desperate discovery. The network isn't just immune to their methods, it's using their own moral code against them by making every action result in greater harm. The psychological warfare reaches its peak when the architect reveals he's been manipulating their emotions for months, using their own trauma to control their actions. "Every decision you've made has served my purposes," the architect gloats. "Your heroism is just another tool in my arsenal." Raj realizes the horrible truth. They haven't been fighting crime. They've been unwittingly helping it evolve into something far more dangerous and sophisticated. The final trap is revealed when the architect announces his ultimate plan: use the trio's reputation and connections to legitimize criminal activities on a global scale. Faced with the realization that they've become part of the problem, Arjun makes the hardest decision of his life. We end this by ending ourselves. The plan is simple and final: expose their own infiltration publicly, destroying their credibility, but also revealing the architect's manipulation methods to the world. As they go live with their confession, law enforcement agencies worldwide finally understand how they've been manipulated and begin coordinating a truly independent response. The architect's network collapses not from external pressure, but from internal paranoia, as criminals realize they too have been manipulated and turn against each other. The trio's sacrifice works. By destroying their own heroic image, they've broken the psychological hold the architect had over both criminals and law enforcement. Months later, Arjun, Kavya, Raj and Priya work quietly in victim support roles, their public reputations destroyed but their actual impact greater than ever. Remember, hundreds of these incidents happen daily, but not all victims are saved. Take this video for educational purposes and stay vigilant. Your awareness could save someone's life savings, or even their life. If this video helped you stay safe from scammers, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that protects you and your family. Share this story with elderly loved ones who need to see it.